What's up guys, Boss here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys the games that got me to 5th in the world. So I'm currently at 8,183 trophies right now, and the season, there's still 12 days left. This has been a 35-day season, and I'm pretty confident we're going to see people get to 9,000 trophies. I'm going to do my best to get to 9,000. I mean, it's not going to be easy. I don't think there's going to be too many people who can reach it this season. My guess is there's going to be probably 30 or less even. Maybe there'll only even be like 10 or 20, but I'll do my best to make it there. But I'm very confident someone will reach 9,000 trophies. So this RG Lightning deck that I'm using, very strong in the meta. I actually won 6 games in a row with it against a variety of different decks that I'm going to show you guys, how to play the matchup, explain my thought process. I did this video a few days ago. I was actually 7th in the world at that time when I did this video. Now I'm 5th in the world, so even higher up. And before you head into it, if you guys would like to support me, you can use my creator code BOSS in any Supercell game. Really do appreciate all the support from you guys. It does mean a lot. So first replay I want to show you guys is against Golem Clone, the new Toxic Golem Clone deck. I actually made a video on this deck, I think about a week ago. I don't even think this is an easy matchup because I'm using Lightning instead of Fireball, but Lightning does do good against the Night Witch because, of course, it completely takes it out, whereas when you have Fireball, you're forced to log it, and you might not have that log in rotation. So he gives us the good luck. And at this point, I didn't know he had Golem Clone. I knew this guy was a Golem player, but he often uses Golem Lightning, or sometimes I've seen him use Golem with no spell, sometimes with the E-Barbs variant, and that has arrows and zap. I just knew he had Golem, but I had no idea he had Golem Clone. So as soon as he plays the bats, I'm like, alright, this is probably Golem Clone. Also, guys, please subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my content. Would really appreciate that. And today is my first day of, I'm taking a college class today. It's my first day I'm taking the class. First day of college ever. I'm only taking one class. I thought I was going to take a gap year, but I decided to just get started right away with one class just to kind of like see how it is. And then if all goes well next semester, I might take 2 classes, but I don't plan on doing it full time for a while. Just wanted to say that. I know a lot of people are starting school right now. Some of you guys may be starting high school, middle school, depending on how old you are. And some people like me might be starting college for the first time or returning. But yeah, for me, just one class, and then maybe next semester I'll take 2 at once. I'm just taking a business course. Anyway, as you guys can see there, very nice defense, and we took his tower. So sorry for talking. I know a lot of you guys are interested in like my personal life, so I just wanted to throw that out there. But now I'm not gonna talk about that anymore the rest of the video, don't worry. So you can see I can't defend the left side because the prince, I just had nothing for it, and we do lose the tower, but we took his, so it's alright. And look at the king tower. We got the king tower really low, and we're gonna go for the king tower in this situation because if we go for the arena tower, he's just gonna 3-crown us. So we have to play into the king tower because it's not possible for us to 2-crown him and then 3-crown him. We just don't have enough time. We need to just end the game as quickly as we can, because if he builds up a huge golem push, there's just nothing we can do. So what I mean by that is if I went into the right lane, there would just be, it would just be not good, because then he would just rush us in the opposite lane, 3-crown us, and playing into Golem Clone is not what you want to do, but we have to in this situation. And I was like a little nervous because I didn't know if we would be able to defend or not, but I didn't panic here. Look at what I did. I just played very, very calm. I go for the Mother Witch here on top of the bats. Look at that. That was just insane. And then Electro Spirit to take all of that out. It doesn't take out the Bomber though, so I do have to go for Dark Prince. But overall, that defense was just really insane. And the Electro Spirit is why you have a chance in this matchup. This is why most people use RG with Electro Spirit over Fire Spirit, because of like bats and just swarms in general, and you see there, that's why. So he's actually going to Golem in the pocket, extremely aggressive, and I don't panic here. I just relax. I just go for a log to take out that Golem behind the non-cloned Golem, because if that clone Golem made it to the tower and popped, and it would have gotten hundreds of damage on top of my tower, it would have made things really close. I send in the RG knowing he's low on elixir, and we end up getting the dub in a matchup that it's not easy. It's one where if you make a single mistake, you of course could lose, and luckily I played that very well, and we just stayed calm. We didn't, you know, make any major mistakes on defense. Really, I couldn't see any at all, and that's really all there is to it. So the next one is against Oyasu. I'm sure you guys know Oyasu, a YouTuber. I actually beat him in my last, when I got to #1 in the world with Electro Giant a couple weeks ago. I think I played against him and won in a pretty difficult matchup. In this case, it's a good matchup for us because RG has matchup against Drill Cycle. It doesn't have a hard counter or anything, but it definitely has the advantage, especially when you have Lightning, because Lightning is the best spell against the Tesla, which is why I have Lightning in the deck. There's a lot of people running RG right now with Fireball. I don't really understand why, because in my eyes, I think Lightning is just the way better spell in this meta because of all the drill decks, the Inferno Drag, and I think in the RG mirror matches, I just think that Lightning does better than the Fireball does because you can Lightning so many things at the same time. In this case, Oyasu has the Valkyrie. So Valkyrie, it's interesting. Some people use Drill Cycle with Valkyrie, some with Dark Prince. So I kind of go for a kite there because my cycle was kind of bad. You see, like, I didn't have my Dark Prince in cycle, so I didn't really have anything good for the Valkyrie. It was kind of weird, but it kind of worked. I mean, we took a ton of damage. In single elixir, I'm not going to lie, this is kind of a rough matchup and situation to be in single, but then in double and triple, you obviously can overwhelm them, and that's what often happens. Like, you see he has this huge lead in single elixir, but we just have to, you know, not take much more damage and work our way into double, and that's when we can start to have lightnings with our RG pushes, because in single elixir, it's very, very difficult to get an RG plus a lightning off unless they are super low on elixir, but otherwise that's a huge overcommitment. So that's why this damage I took here early on is definitely normal in this kind of matchup. So here we're getting close to double elixir. I go RG in the back. That's what you need to do to break through the Teslas. If you just go RG at the bridge and they have a Tesla in cycle, you're not going to be able to, you know, accomplish anything, because first of all, you're not even going to be able to afford a lightning right away, and second of all, you're not going to have any support cards with the RG. So you want to play it in the back so you have the elixir to save up for a lightning like we do there. Lightning comes in, and then he goes for a Tesla last second. He probably didn't know I had a lightning because a lot of people use RG with Fireball, so it kind of confuses people, because I would say in the top of ladder, the people using RG, I'm one of the only ones using it with Lightning, which is really interesting. So it almost serves as a surprise factor for some of these drill players, and they give me a lot of Lightning value. Like, a lot of them are playing their Bomber and their Tesla too close to each other, and I'm able to hit both of them just because, yeah, they don't know that I have it. But now he knows I have it, and he still played the Bomber and the drill, or the Bomber and the Tesla, excuse me, right next to each other. Sorry if my commentating isn't perfect. I just woke up a little while ago. I wanted to get this video out before I left to class. So I go for another RG in the back. You can see just building up the pushes. You don't really ever want to go for an RG by itself at the bridge. Even in double and triple elixir, I don't like doing that. I prefer to play it in the back. The only time I would go for an RG at the bridge is if it's triple elixir and I'm like desperate for damage. That's really the only time, but other than that, I'm mostly setting up for one in the back first, and then see how I go for a dual lane RG push. That's what you want to do. One in the back and then one at the bridge, either in the same lane or in the other lane. In this case, I played in the opposite lane because he's using Valkyrie and Bomber, which both splash it, so I need to create some opposite lane pressure, which ended up working out really nicely. You can see we actually bring his other tower down to about half health. So now we have the luxury of going in any lane that we want to. We're still going to keep going for RGs in the back. We're near triple elixir, so at this point I can go for RGs at the bridge and afford lightnings pretty quickly after, but that is still 12 elixir, which is very, very risky to do. So overall, I don't like doing that unless I have to. So here, I go for a Fisherman on top of that Valkyrie. He doesn't get the skeletons down in time. Mother Witch comes in, which he doesn't have a Fireball and Cycle for. The RG gets another hit. So now we widen our lead a little bit more, but this is still anyone's game because you see he just needs to get about 300 more damage on the left tower, but that lightning gives me even more of a lead, and with that drill, he doesn't have the elixir to stop the RG, so we end up picking up the win here versus Oyasu, and he's goblin laughing as he always does. He often does that when he loses, but yeah, we end up getting the win there. And now Edu Light, I could show you guys this one versus Lumberloon Freeze. This is a matchup that I think could go either way. I think it's like a 50-50 matchup. What's really nice is you have lightning. This is an example of a matchup that is so much easier when you have lightning. Kind of like drill decks that have Tesla. That's one that's much easier with lightning. Same with something like this, because your lightning gets way more value than a fireball would. A fireball doesn't kill an E-drag. Yeah, a fireball pushes back a balloon, but you can't break through when you're using fireball because you can't kill that E-drag. You have one less reset to the Inferno drag. Like if you just have fireball, I mean, you can take out half the Inferno drag and reset it, but that's not really good value. When you have the lightning, you can pretty much kill the whole thing. You can hit like E-drags, bowlers, lumberjacks, like all at the same time. And yeah, it just makes your life so much easier in this kind of matchup. So he's going to go for a bowler. That was really smart defense there on top of that Mother Witch because it's going to pretty much have full health and completely take it out. I go for a Fisherman, and then he's going to give us lightning value here. So I'm obviously going to go ahead and take it because we're able to hit the E-drag, hit the bowler, and it's going to force additional elixir out of him here on defense. And now we have a little bit of an elixir lead. I can't really do anything because he has the Inferno Dragon cycle, so obviously I'm not going to go RG at the bridge here because if I did that, yeah, I could go Mega Minion and Electro Spirit shortly after, but overall I would be in an elixir deficit after, and what probably would happen is he would go for a Lumberjack Balloon and take my tower, because then the only answer I would have to the balloon is my Mega Minion, assuming I didn't cycle that on the Inferno Drag. So yeah, you kind of want to play a little passively in this matchup, even though you do have a slightly faster cycle. He's actually going to go Lumberloon in the opposite lane. Very interesting play. Instead of defending the RG, he's in his mind thinking he wants to tower trade. And I think that's a mistake because in RG matchups, the fact that you can RG in the pocket usually gives the RG player an advantage. So I was like, okay, I don't know why he's doing that, because he's either going to do one of two things, right? He's going to like defend the RG or freeze the tower here. And what he decides to do is freeze the tower. So I was like, okay, he's probably going to take my tower, right? No, he doesn't even take the tower because the balloon isn't raged up. It wasn't inside of the rage, doesn't get that additional hit he's looking for. And now we're just in an incredible situation because he's going to have to overcommit to take my left tower. And while he has to still take my left tower, I can slowly get some damage in the process of him having to do that. So you see here, I go ahead and I think I take this lightning here. Do I? Yes, I take this lightning, and instead of hitting the tower, I hit the lumberjack because I want to prevent him from building up a push. He goes for a balloon here, and I know I can't defend this. I have the Mega Minion in cycle, but I don't play it because I know that he has a freeze. So he would have just froze the Mega Minion in that tower. So instead, I pressure with an RG. The RG gets one shot, which is really nice. He's also low on elixir. We have a Mother Witch down. I go for a lightning here on top of this Inferno Drag, knowing that it'll get us tower damage, turn it into a pig. And now this is looking great for us because he's dealt no damage, 0 damage to our right tower. And we just need pretty much one more RG shot to pretty much seal this game, because then 2 lightnings would take the tower. We can't really cycle 3 lightnings. That's kind of impossible. But, you know, we can get a lightning off here, which means we need 2 more lightnings to go, plus 1 RG shot. So now he's going to go for a push finally. I go for a Mother Witch and a Dark Prince. And then I cycle to my Mega Minion. I know he's going to freeze, but I'm not going to panic because if you look at everything, the Mother Witch, the Mega Minion, the tower, and the King Tower, there's no way he can freeze all of that. Like, that's impossible. Worst case scenario, he's able to freeze the Mother Witch and the Mega Minion and the tower together. But even that, I think, is too far spread out. And then the King Tower, like, he can't freeze either. So there wasn't no way that balloon was going to take my tower. IRG in the pocket, knowing he didn't have the Tornado and cycle, and we end up picking up that win there. Kind of got close at the end, but he still needed a whole nother balloon hit, so not too close, not too bad, and yeah, got the win. So next one versus Yosoi Rick, another drill deck. There's 3 drill replays. I'm showing you guys this video. That shows you guys how broken drill is in this meta. When you're in the top 100, you play at like 50% of your games. So let's head into this game versus Yosoi Rick here. He's got a very interesting variant. 2 spirits, the Fire Spirit and the Electric Spirit, and then Tornado. So no log, but he's got the Tornado, which can pull Dark Princes away from the drill, which can be a little bit... can be a little annoying at times, because if I don't have my login cycle and he tornadoes away the Dark Prince, it'll get a lot of damage. So the game plan in this matchup is saving my Dark Princes for his drills, and worst case scenario, if I don't have Dark Prince, at least have a log and a Fisherman, because a Fisherman can help whittle down the drill, and then just I log it last second, so the goblins just don't overwhelm my tower. So when I see the Electric Spirit and the Fire Spirit, I'm really confused. I'm thinking like, okay, this is a little bit of a interesting drill variant here, because this variant, this double spirit variant, I've never played against before. Rick, obviously, I feel like Rick I played against so many times in my YouTube videos. Because I heard a comment say like, Boss always plays against Rick, and this is another time I'm playing against him, so that's interesting. I feel like I always play against him when I'm recording videos, or it's like in a replay or whatever. But yeah, shout out to him. He's kind of like he speaks Spanish. I think he's from Mexico, but yeah, he streams on Twitch. Like one of the biggest Spanish streamers on Twitch right now. So he goes for a Valkyrie, replaces it. He doesn't have a ton of elixir, I mean, but he's still going to go for the Tesla. But look at what he did, right? He played the Tesla and the Bomber next to each other. No one knows I have Lightning. Like, it's such a surprise. So they always give me that value. I didn't Lightning the tower, a little bit of a mistake. The reason why I didn't do that is because I wasn't sure if I could have hit the Bomber, the tower, and the Tesla. Had I Lightning the tower, we would have, first of all, gotten, like, almost 400 damage on the tower for free, and we could have potentially gotten another RG shot, because it, of course, would have stunned the tower. So definitely was a big mistake there on my end. Luckily, it did not cost us the match. But that's something I gotta watch out for. I can't be missing lightnings like that. So he's gonna drill in the left lane. I have to say, I don't think that was a good play. When you're using a Goblin Drill cycle deck, you don't play drills into the RG player. You're supposed to play it into the opposite lane. Him playing it in the same lane, what that allows me to do is keep applying pressure into the lane that I'm pushing in. When you're using any kind of cycle deck, like Drill Cycle, Hog Cycle, you should be pressuring in the opposite lane of the RG player, or whatever beatdown deck it is. RG honestly isn't even really beatdown, it's kind of a control deck, although you could argue RG Lightning's kind of beatdown, but RG Fireball is definitely a control deck. This is kind of, you could argue either way, but I think he should be playing drills in the right lane instead of the left lane. At this point, you could say he doesn't really have a choice because he already dealt some damage into my left lane, but yeah, I just don't think he should be playing it same lane. And you can see I'm kind of overwhelming him here. Tesla comes out last second, but look at that pig snuck through, and then he ignored, I think, like pretty much the entirety of a Dark Prince because I had so much pressure coming in the left lane. And now, yeah, I mean, we pretty much have the ability to go in any lane that we want to, because both of the lanes we got pretty low. In fact, we have the right lane even lower. But again, I'm going to RG in the left lane because he keeps pressuring in the left lane, which I don't think is a good play. And I want to play into the lane that he's pressuring in. He goes for the Tornado. That was a really good Tornado because I didn't have a log and cycle. And that's what I was talking about. That's how he can get damage. When I don't have a log and cycle and he has that Tornado and cycle, that is how he can create some, you know, pressure and get some chip damage. So I have to do my best to not let that happen. But the problem is when we get in triple elixir here, he can spam us relentlessly with the drills, and I won't always have a Dark Prince in cycle. So you'll see things get a little close here. I mean, a little closer than I'd like, but we still always maintain a small lead. So I Dark Prince here, and I log. I predict the tornado. You have to predict those tornadoes because you know they're going to go for those tornadoes on the drill every time. We have 2 RGs down. Maybe I should have played one in the opposite lane because, again, when they have Valkyrie and Bomber, they both just kind of get splashed. So maybe I should have played one in the opposite lane, but it was so intense this match, so much going on, I didn't even think of that. So here I go for another Fisherman on top of the drill. I go for another Dark Prince. And you can see this game got a little closer than I would have liked, within like 400 hit points at one point. But the lightning creates enough room for us to break through, and we pick up the win there versus Rick. So, you know what? We showed, what, 4 replays now? We got another drill one. I don't know if I'm going to show this one. It's kind of the same concept. You see, it's almost the same one as the one Oyasu had. I mean, the only difference is that he had Log and Dark Prince instead of the Valk, but it's pretty much the same playstyle. Let's just first show the one against Jupiter King here, which is a bridge spam deck with drill to create some more variety in the replays. And then, I forget, now this was a very long game, so maybe this will be the last replay. I don't know if it's necessary to show another drill one. I mean, like, 3 drill Tesla decks. At least this is another drill deck. So out of all the 6 replays, this is the 4th one that has drill in it. It just shows you why drill is so broken. Jupiter King, really good player. I actually have kind of a lot I could say about him, but if you guys didn't know, Jupiter King was like a year ago top 3 best players in the game. He might have even been considered like top 2, or some even said he was the best player in the whole game. This year, he hasn't really been, I don't know if he's like kind of lost interest in the game, but he hasn't really been getting those insane ladder finishes that you'd expect, or been, you know, performing as good in CRL as a lot of us expected, including me, because of how dominant he was last year. But I don't know, maybe he's focusing on school. I don't know if he has college now and he's busy, but either way, I just thought that was interesting because last year he was like, without a doubt, top 3 best players in the game. I mean, he proved that in not only CRL, but there was this no-tilt special edition thing, and yeah, I mean, he's a phenomenal player that I think just doesn't play the game as much right now, but that's just what I think. Anyway, he's got Bandit and Magic Archer, so bridge spam. I knew this wasn't P.E.K.K.A. though, because obviously he had the drill that he used early on, and we just want to save our Dark Prince for the drill, right? And it's going to be easier to do because he's not using a cycle deck, he's just using, you know, he's just using a bridge spam deck, which we have roughly about the same amount of elixir average as he does, because he has a lot of expensive cards too, kind of like me. I mean, he's got the Cannon card, which is 5 elixir, 2 4 elixir cards, the E-Wiz, the Magic Archer, and then the Drill and the Fireball. So that's actually 4 elixir cards. Wait, 5, because he's got the Dark Prince. Oh my gosh. What am I talking about? I keep realizing he's got more 4 elixir cards than I think he does, because I was just looking at what he had in cycle. I forgot about what he had overall. So look at this, look at this. This was a crazy play. What do? I leak elixir here. I'm like, okay. I didn't know if he was going to play the drill in front of my tower or in the back. If he played that drill behind my tower, I would have been screwed. Because he played that drill in front and I waited, I'm like, let's go. He did exactly what I wanted. Look at what I do. I lightning the drill, the Magic Archer, and the Bandit, because he played them all in the same spot. That's another reason lightning came in clutch there. If I had Fireball, I would not have been able to hit everything. I would have either missed the Magic Archer or the drill and the Bandit. So that was insane. That patience right there is something you have to do sometimes when your cycle gets a little bit awkward. You have to sometimes like pray and hope they do what you want, and that's exactly what happened. He played that, and look at this. I predicted the Magic Archer. I went for an Electro Spirit at the bridge, and then I go for a Mega Minion on top of it. That was absolutely insane. I was really happy right there after that exchange, and that might have been what won me the game, because this game got pretty dang close at the end, and had I not predicted that Magic Archer, we could have lost. So I honestly did 2 kind of outplays this game. Waiting to go for the Lightning on top of the Drill, the Magic Archer, and the Bandit, that was definitely kind of an outplay because I was predicting what he was going to do, and then also predicting that Magic Archer. So 2 kind of like predictions slash outplays were what won me this game. That was pretty close. So I go for another RG at the bridge here, and I go Fisherman to pull the Bandit. Drill comes in late, so the RG gets 1 shot on the tower, and every shot counts. I mean, that's almost 400 damage. Here, he knows he has to apply pressure. He's up a little bit of elixir, so he finally goes in hard here with the cannon card at the bridge, a bar barrel, and a bandit. Now, looking back at this, what I would have done differently is I probably would have gone for a lightning on this, but I didn't know he was going to bandit too, so that bandit was actually really smart. But anyway, I do that. I go for a fisherman, and this fisherman was kind of, it wasn't really a mistake, but it was more so kind of unlucky. You see, it kind of pulls it. The bandit got shoved out of the way because of the stupid cannon card. It like pushed it to the right, so that was very annoying. And then my log, I had to log early because of the bandit, and then I go Mother Witch here, and surprisingly he doesn't fireball. That was interesting. And actually that Mega Minion, oh, it would have gotten a shot, never mind. I wanted to go back to see, did that Mega Minion have damage dealt to it? Because if it did, that Dark Prince was a mistake. But no, he actually had a Dark Prince, because if that Mega Minion got a shot, then I would have been able to almost lightning his tower and win. Probably like 1 RG shot and a lightning, but now I actually need to get 2 RG shots, so that was actually a good play. He had to do that. I ignore the entirety of the Dark Prince, because I know a Dark Prince isn't going to do as much damage as you got in the right lane. That was really smart on my end. I didn't like overreact on that Dark Prince. He goes in for a drill. I fisherman. This time I don't at all mess up the defense, and we have what we need in cycle 2, which makes things easier. Log takes that out. I just go for Mother Witch here, an Electro Spirit, keeping that Dark Prince and Bandit off my tower, and then I have a Dark Prince again available for the drill. And now I go in for the RG, knowing he doesn't have the drill in cycle for my RG, which is really his only counter, because if he doesn't have drill in cycle, the RG is going to get 1 hit pretty much guaranteed every single time, and that is going to be what happens. I thought he was going to Magic Archer here, so I go for the Electro Spirit to like stun it, just in case like he tried to get like a cheeky like Magic Archer off, like piercing through the Dark Prince, getting hit on my tower, which then of course he would have just been able to fireball. So I make sure that didn't happen. RG comes in, we're able to get the win, and honestly I would say that was really well played by me. It was also pretty well played by him. I mean, he made it kind of close, and I would say a matchup that is either like 50-50 or slightly in my favor. If he had the Inferno Drag instead of the Magic Archer, which is the variant some people use, it would have actually been easier for us, because then I would have had one less thing to worry about. And honestly, Inferno Drag, since I have Lightning and Electro Spirit for it, it would have made it easier. But because he had the Magic Archer, that's what made the matchup not as easy, I guess you could say. But anyways, that is going to be it for the video. Still 5th in the world after recording. I actually, when I went to sleep last night, I was 5th, and now I'm still 5th. So that's pretty crazy that after like 7-8 hours, I'm still 5th. I mean, I was not expecting that. I thought I would have dropped down to like 10th or something like that. But anyways, guys, I'm really happy with my performance so far this season. Obviously, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago I uploaded a video getting #1 in the world with Electro Giant. A few days ago I did one where I was like 8th in the world with RG, now 5th in the world with RG. Like, just really consistent so far for me on ladder this season. Like, pretty much this whole season I've been in the top like 30 or 40, which is really, really great. I'm going for a good finish this season. My goal is to get at least top 50 for CRL points, because CRL points, how it works is you get 40 for top 10, 25 for top 50, 20 for top 100, and then for top 500 you only get 5, so you see it's really important to get at least top 100. But this is the last stretch of CRL. This is the last ladder season that counts for CRL this year, so yeah, I'm going for at least a top 50, but I'd really like to get a top 10 for 40 points. That would be really nice, obviously. But yeah, see how it goes. It's been going great so far this season. Really happy with how it's going. I'll try to keep it up. There's 12 days left of the season still, but yeah, see if I can do it. I'll do my best. And yeah, make sure to like the video if you guys did enjoy it. Subscribe if you aren't subscribed already. If I get #1 in the world, maybe I'll do another replay video. I hope you guys are fine with these replay videos. I assume when I'm like in the top 10, the gameplay is like so good that you guys probably don't care if it's live games. I just don't want to play live games when I'm already like in the top 10. It's kind of stressful. But anyways, that's gonna be it. Thanks again. Until next time, guys.